Thank you both very much. Now, big change of gear, and the hot tip for the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival this weekend is a black comedy about the private life of the entertainer Liberace, Behind the Candelabra. The director Steven Soderbergh won at Cannes with his first film, Sex, Lies and Videotape, in 1989, and has said that the Liberace film will be his last. Well, that's after Hollywood failed to back his Liberace story, apparently because it's too gay for the Cineplex audience. It will be released on cable in the United States, though it will appear in UK cinemas next month. Stephen Smith has been to the south of France for this exclusive interview with Steven Soderbergh.
You may have heard news reports from the Cannes Film Festival that a lot of the bling has gone missing. Well, hello, I don't think so.
I know somebody else out in the audience who appreciates it too, and that's my mom. Mom, I tell you what...
Michael Douglas's performance as the spangled virtuoso Liberace has been the talk of the south of France.
Well, I'll tell you, when I was working in saloons in my youth back in Milwaukee, they called them saloons. I mean, that's how old I am.
I'm from Wisconsin, too.
No, you are? Well, this must be fate.
Newsnight met the director, Steven Soderbergh, at his arduous Riviera billet. Well, Steven, thank you for inviting us to this lovely summer house you've got going here. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, I know. It's brutal, but we soldier on.
I suspect we're both old enough to remember Liberace Lee in his prime, but watching your film again, it came back to me how extraordinary that was.
He really was the sort of, you know, the godfather of bling.
Absolutely.
I mean, he really single-handedly kind of created the idea of bling, and the idea that a performer could sort of be so extravagant.
When he was alive and the world and its laws were rather different, the story about Liberace was that he just hadn't met the right girl. In fact, it wasn't only the ivories he tickled. The new film is based on the memoirs of his lover, Scott.
Now, Jack, I want to talk to you about doing some surgery on Scott here.
What? Fine. What would you like me to do with Scott?
I want you to make Scott look like this.
This won't be shown in American cinemas. Is it too gay for conservative Hollywood?
Oh, I see. Oh, yes, I think I can do what you want. He's gonna need a nose job.
It was more frustrating than anything else. I just didn't, I mean, I understood the economic issue, that they were concerned that there wasn't an audience for the film beyond a gay audience. I didn't share that belief, but that's certainly how they felt. But it was more frustrating. I just thought we didn't need, we'd financed the movie almost entirely out of foreign. We only needed a small amount. And the fact, I thought we had a great script and we had Michael and Matt. I was surprised.
You have Hollywood full of gay stars who don't wish to appear as gay, and you're casting well-known straight actors in these parts.
Right. I don't know. I'm hoping that someday all these discussions will become irrelevant, you know, and that people won't care. In the same way that ultimately, even after the story broke of Scott and Lee in the tabloids, nobody cared. So I'm hoping that that's where we'll get, where nobody. I've never been in a casting session ever where somebody's personal sexual preference was ever discussed as a topic.
I think, black piano, black tuxedo. Who is gonna see me in this giant clamshell? Well, I ask you, can you see me now?
The unimprovably titled Behind the Candelabra arrives smack dab in the middle of the gay marriage debate.
The fact that it's going to land right at a sort of key inflection point in this whole discussion is kind of interesting. I'm not a big believer in the idea that movies really influence that kind of decision-making for people. But I'm glad that right now the movie's going to be viewed through that lens of what's happening, you know, socially with this issue.
Why don't you let me tape you?
Doing what?
Talking.
About what?
The director won at Cannes with his debut feature, Sex, Lies and Videotape, a benchmark in independent cinema. But now he says he's turning in his bullhorn and jodhpurs.
And you just want to ask me questions.
Has Hollywood got in the way of making movies?
That's one of a handful of thinking about 5 years ago that I'd like to have an exit strategy. My own feeling of needing to stop, destroy everything that I've done, see if I can rebuild and come at this from a completely different angle. It sort of become a primitive again. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if you can consciously do that, but I'm going to try.
And you're tweeting a novel. Is this true?
Yeah, I'm trying to take advantage of its limitations.
Then complete silence, then darkness. A beat. D appeared at the door. End of chapter 7.
I'm not sure how, but there's a muscle being exercised in this experiment that I know is connected to me trying to figure out the next version of me as a filmmaker.
You don't wake up in the night frightened that they won't let you back into this fabulous sweet shop, this fabulous dream factory, and they'll say to you, well, I'm sorry, Steven, you know, you turned your back on movies. Good luck with that Twitter thing, but the door's closed, my friend.
I'd be fine with that. I never imagined that all of this would happen to me, that I would have gone this far, been able to make as many films as I have and be able to control them. I've had plenty of fun.
Oh, aren't you sweet? It's not bad for an old bag, huh?
Steven Soderbergh there talking to Steve Smith. Quick look at two of tomorrow morning's front pages. The Mirror first. Did MI5 ask Cleaver Maniac to be a spy? Killer boasted of being tapped up by spooks, as we had at the top of the programme with Richard Watson there. And The Times. The first pictures of terror victim on the front line. We thought he was safe here. See the grieving family of drummer Lee Ridley.